Samsung might be the world's #1 phone maker by volume, but in the last few years, a new class of phones has emerged that has made its business so much harder. Affordable flagships like the OnePlus 60, Pocophone F1 and others bring flagship-grade performance and surprisingly great cameras at very affordable prices. Samsung's newest Galaxy A9 2018 is a phone that hits the same exact spot as those phones in terms of price, but what does it bring to the table in terms of features? Well, how about not one, not two, not three, but 4 different cameras on the back? That's a first ever in a smartphone. Hello guys, my name is Vic with PhoneArena and it's time to see how those cameras perform and whether this new Galaxy A9 is any good. The phone is made of glass and metal and it has a slim profile and tapered size that make holding it more convenient. Still, there's no going around that this phone is wide and tall. It's actually wider and much taller than say the OnePlus 6T. In terms of color options, we've got the classic black model up for review, but you have a bubblegum pink and lemonade blue color gradients that look a lot more fun. The back here is glass on all models and it is as slippery and easily smudged with fingerprints as you'd expect. While we like the looks, we're disappointed with the build quality. Wiggle the phone in your hand and you hear something rattling on the inside. As if Samsung forgot to screw in some component. This definitely doesn't feel reliable. Speaking of annoyances, the dedicated physical Bixby button is still here on the A9. A year and a half after Bixby's launch, we still think that the Google Assistant is a way more capable and actually usable assistant. We truly wish we had the option to use that Bixby button to start the Google Assistant, but alas, no luck. Thankfully, you can still disable Bixby Home. Turning to the back of the phone, you find a traditional fingerprint scanner here. It's a reliable one that recognizes our fingerprints on the first try, but it's a bit on the slow side. The A9 features a 6.3-inch Full HD Plus display of the Super AMOLED kind and it looks beautiful. It has lively colors, well-tuned auto brightness and just looks good. Samsung calls this an infinity screen, but you still have a very noticeable bezel at the top and bottom. No notch here at least. This being a Samsung AMOLED screen, you also get the always on mode that shows you the time, date, battery level and missed notifications. We find this mode very useful, but keep in mind that it does drain extra battery. Like so many mid-range Samsung phones, the Galaxy A9 ships with a version of Android and Samsung experience that is behind the times from the very beginning. You have Android 8.0 Oreo, while the latest release that's been out for months is Android 9 Pie. As is common with non-flagship phones, Samsung doesn't say when or even whether it will update this phone, and usually those updates are way overdue. What this also means is that the Galaxy A9 lacks any form of gesture navigation, so you need to rely on the old 3-button Android nav system. Under the hood, the Galaxy A9 2018 is powered by the Snapdragon 660 chip, a mid-range processor that is not nearly as fast as the Snapdragon 845 in phones like OnePlus or Pocophone. Still, you notice this mostly in games and heavier apps, while in basic daily use the A9 handles itself without much of a lag or stutter and runs fairly smoothly. We're glad to see that Samsung has equipped the base model of the A9 with 128 gigs of onboard storage, and you have a true dual SIM plus microSD card slot, so you can expand the memory without worrying about sacrificing dual SIM functionality. The star of the Galaxy A9 show, however, is the new quad camera system that includes a telephoto camera, an ultra wide-angle lens, and a depth sensor in addition to the main shooter. This setup offers you a lot of versatility. You can zoom in or go ultra wide to fit more in the frame and shoot in tight spaces, and a depth camera enables portrait mode. Sadly, as impressive as those cameras sound on paper, they are a downright disappointment in reality. Photos from the Galaxy A9 are very low quality. A quick comparison with the camera on the OnePlus 6T and the Galaxy A9 just cannot match it. Highlights are burned, white balance is wrong, color is not as rich, and the amount of detail is much lower. You also have live focus on the Galaxy A9, but it is another big disappointment, to the point of being practically useless. We often had to shoot 4 or 5 portraits to get at least one that is barely in focus, and even that shot did not look good. On the video side, you do have support for 4K video recording, but keep in mind that video stabilization only works for 1080p recording, and 4K footage turns out shaky. Even 4K video, however, lacks the detail that you'd expect, and colors don't look good on it. To add insult to injury, the bottom-firing loudspeaker on the Galaxy A9 is not very good either. It is neither too loud nor too good sounding. First, you can easily muffle the speaker with your hand when using the phone. And second, music sounds very scratchy, especially if you turn the volume up. At least the good old headphone jack is alive and well here on the Galaxy A9, which is one good news for those who don't want to deal with a dongle. When it comes to call quality, you had no issues with the A9. Voices in calls sound crisp and clear enough on both ends of the line, and volume gets sufficiently loud. The phone also sports a 3800 mAh battery inside it, and it proved to be a solid performer, so that you can rely it to get through even those longer days. On our battery test, the A9 scored some 9 hours and a half, which is higher than the average, and while not quite in 2-day battery life territory, it's a great showing. And while there is no wireless charging on board, you do get Samsung's fast charging technology. At the end of the day, there is just one way to sum up our experience with the Galaxy A9 2018, and it's with this question. Seriously, Samsung? Seriously? Is this really the best you can come up to rival OnePlus, Pocophone, Honor, and all the rest? Because it's just not enough. Yes, the Galaxy A9 2018 works, and it has a beautiful screen, and it will get the job done for pretty much everything you expect from a basic smartphone, but let's face it, so will a $100 phone these days. At its current price, the camera performance here is shockingly bad. Its speed is not on par with rivals, its interface is old, and updates are not something Samsung even brings in the conversation. Heck, this phone is not even built well, and it rattles when you wiggle it. And we expect more, a lot more, from the world's biggest phone maker. Thank you so much for watching this, guys. We hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and check us out at PhoneArena.com, and I will talk to you in the next one.